What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
Fifth grade, probably early fifth grade, towards the end of the year. So the school year I was in school for a little bit, playing tag on those metal spiderweb dome things. Somebody kicked my leg out from under me. I broke my leg, just a fracture. Not all the way through, but put me out for a few weeks, I think a month. I was out for a while. When I came back, I was told not to play with those kids because they played rough and I was getting hurt, right? So I when I went back, had to do something else. I'd gotten over this time, I believe it was December, my birthday, or Christmas slash gift, birthday slash Christmas gift. I was given a soccer ball. Went to school, and I think I tried to play soccer, but I ended up playing basketball with the soccer ball because basketball courts were pretty open. Nobody there. So I figure, during recess, I can just throw, use this soccer ball as a basketball. It's where I met my friend Matt, that I've known for many, many years. He's a short kid from Wisconsin, and every time I would brick and the ball would go fucking flying because it's a playground basketball court with a hard rim, no springs, and it's a soccer ball, so it's gonna have a way different bounce than a basketball. And Matt would just go run and get it, and then one day he invited me to his birthday, and I think he got a basketball, and he started bringing his basketball to school. And that's when I started playing basketball. And then, Matt and I were friends. He got a basketball hoop at his house. I got one in my house. So whichever house we were at, we'd always play basketball. We would watch White Men Can't Jump, which I talked about yesterday. It's one of those, sometimes you watch Back to the Future if you want to get inspired to skateboard, right? Sometimes you watch White Men Can't Jump as two white kids. I was fat. My friend was diabetic and tiny, type 1 diabetic, not type 2. He was just a really short kid. And, not the two A-type basketball players, but we enjoyed the fuck out of it, and we would play all the time. And, just imagine yourself doing those spin moves like Wesley Snipes. So then Matt was a grade behind me, though, so I went to 6th grade, which is a different school. I had to get my own basketball, started bringing my own basketball to school, which bullies would take away from me and punt clear across the entire campus, as I'm trying to get to my next class, and I got to get bullied by some assholes that probably got beat by their parents. And it sucked. It sucked a lot. I mean, that sucked, but there was also bullying inside the classroom where like the teachers clearly knew and probably was okay with it. They were laughing at me as well. I had dandruff. My clothes didn't fit. Like I had a growth spurt, so none of my clothes fit. I had greasy hair because I thought washing my hair caused dandruff. And it was just, I was a mess. I was such a mess. And then at home, there was, not a whole lot to go home to. So it was like, I felt very alone. I'm an only child, so I felt very alone. Middle school was a very hard time for me. But 6th grade, I met all of my friends that I later were friends through high school, and then even when I moved to San Diego. But I met all my friends playing basketball, and we were all like the nerd outcast people. Like my friends were all like is complete diversity as far as Korean, Japanese, Mexican, half Japanese, half white, black. Maybe there's like maybe a half black kid that. Not a whole lot of black people in the desert at the time, or at least in La Quinta at the time. Just Mexican, white, and then I found a few Asians on the way. But all of us, none of us. I mean, a couple of us were tall. I wasn't tall. There were a couple people that were tall, but it was a team. Each people get a center. So we would play pickup basketball. I would bring a basketball. I would play before school. I would play during lunch. I don't think there was like, they didn't have like recess in middle school. It was just lunch. And then, and I would usually sell my lunch tickets. So I didn't eat lunch. I would sell my lunch tickets that I got because we were poor. And I would just go play basketball during that time. And there was one of the courts, because the school had been split off at one point while they were building another school, and there was like portables and all that. So one of the courts was actually fenced off. We called it the cage, and that's where we played, right? So it was very like prison shit. And that's where I learned how to talk shit. That's like where I learned my defense mechanisms for, just being picked on, having fast, witty comebacks and just shit talking. And then I realized that shit talking was a strategy to fuck up the other team. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun when you're talking shit and then you start seeing it have an effect on them. And then it's just like, oh, it's working. I'm going to talk way more shit now. Like, I can see you wilting right now. And I go hard. If I talk shit about you, if that switch gets flipped, and I'm sorry to people that I've talked shit where I just let it fly, I get in the zone and I just let it fly. I will cut deep. But that's all from basketball. You got to cut deep if you're playing basketball because you need to keep that court. You need to win that game so you can play the next game. While motherfuckers are out in arcades throwing quarters up on Double Dragon, I'm out there schooling bitches in the cage in 6th grade, 7th grade, and half of 8th grade. But I love playing basketball at school. I, of course, love playing. Matt and we played basketball. It was like, I think he played sometimes. It was kind of weird. When we were in school, he had his friends, I had my friends, and then we, out of school, we were friends. We were friends in school too, but it's just, he was a grade below me. I met a bunch of new people in 6th grade. So, I don't know, it's a weird thing. So we were like out of school friends, even though we went to the same school. But we play basketball all the time. We'd play against his sister all the time, which is just devastating. You want to talk about a tough chick. She put up with 2 dudes that just brutalized, we played hard, man. We didn't treat her any different than we would treat anybody else. And it was a lot of fun playing basketball. And I continued to play basketball in high school. In high school when I was in art AP. I had my portfolio under one arm. And I had basketball under the other arm through like most of high school. And I would play during lunch still a lot of the times. I would play before school. I still played through high school. After high school, when I moved to San Diego, I would still play. One of my friends, Ricardo, the Korean from 6th grade, we had maintained friendship and moved to San Diego. He was going to school there. I wanted to get the fuck out of the desert. And we played basketball then. We were playing basketball in the desert like tons of times. While I was working at the movie theater, aside from getting drunk watching movies, basketball, hard, multiple times a day. I was looking good, man. Started working out, got a weight bench. I was in the best shape ever. I wasn't necessarily the healthiest ever, but I was definitely in really good shape. And it was all basketball. And then eventually in San Diego, people moved away and I just stopped playing. And as far as watching, the last time I watched the finals, it was LeBron James's rookie year and he didn't make the playoffs. But my favorite player in the Heat did make the playoffs, which it was his rookie year too. I can't think of his name. But that's it for this episode. New episodes every day. Subscribe everywhere. Binge the show over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Inspireddisorder.com for all of my work and my shirts. Save 50% through the holidays using coupon code THANKS18. That's the number 18 for 50% off everything. At Ray Taylor for me on all social media. Have a great day, everybody. Peace out.